But here's where the story gets even bigger. Because this wasn't just about nostalgia, that IT was about power. IT was about how one athlete's legacy continues to shape arenas, influence billion-dollar corporations, and inspire performers who weren't even professionals during his prime. And that's where the real script begins. The business of greatness when TKO Group Holdings decided to lean into Chicago's identity. It wasn't accidental branding. It was strategic alignment. The United Center isn't just a venue. It's sacred ground. It's where the dynasty led by Michael Jordan transformed basketball into global spectacle. 6 championships, 2 three-peats. An era where introductions alone felt like championship moments to SO. When WWE brought Elimination Chamber back to Chicago, the mission was clear. Make it feel historic. Not just big, historic. And the blueprint was already there. Written in 1990s that when Sirius hits, it's different. There's something almost cinematic about the opening synth of Sirius. That IT doesn't explode immediately. That IT builds. That IT creates anticipation. That IT makes you wait. And that's exactly what the Bulls did during their golden era. They made you wait through every name until the arena erupted for Jordan. That formula translated perfectly to wrestling. When CM Punk stood at the entrance ramp, soaking in the moment, the crowd reaction wasn't just about a title defense. That IT was about identity. Chicago saw one of its own, channeling the same aura that once belonged to number 23. And when legendary announcer Ray Clay delivered the introduction, the line between basketball and wrestling blurred completely. For a few seconds, it felt like 1997 again. The psychological edge here is something people don't talk about enough. Tributes like this don't just excite fans. They energize performers. When Punk spoke about goosebumps, that wasn't marketing talk. That was adrenaline meeting memory. Think about it. You grow up watching Jordan dominate that building. You walk past a statue. You hear the same music. You feel the same crowd electricity. That's not just an entrance. That's a psychological boost. And in a match as brutal as the Elimination Chamber, where 6 competitors fight inside steel for supremacy, mental edge matters. Jordan as wrestling currency, a fascinating part. Jordan became the currency of credibility throughout the night. Young star Trick Williams invoked him to elevate his own image. LA Knight wore footwear inspired by the iconic Air Jordan 12 flu game moment, a nod to resilience and dominance. Even Becky Lynch used his name as storyline ammunition. And here's the genius of it all. Jordan didn't need to appear. He didn't need to tweet. He didn't need to acknowledge anything. His legacy alone was enough to fuel the narrative engine of a multi-billion-dollar company. That's influence at the highest level. Chicago. The toughest audience Chicago crowds are notoriously passionate. They don't cheer just because you're scheduled to be cheered. They don't boo just because you're written to be booed. You have to earn it. Jordan earned it through championships. Punk earned it through connection, and WWE earned it by respecting the city's history instead of ignoring it. That's the difference between a generic arena show and a culturally embedded event. From hardwood to steel, there's something poetic about it. Jordan once ruled the hardwood. Now superstars fight inside steel. Different sports, different stakes, same arena. But the expectation remains unchanged. Perform, deliver, win. When Punk successfully defended against Finn Balor, the symbolism became impossible to ignore. Champion. Chicago. Legacy. History doesn't repeat, but it definitely rhymes. That $1 billion lesson for TKO. This wasn't just about selling tickets. That IT was about storytelling at scale. In a world where entertainment companies compete for attention across streaming platforms, social media, and global markets, authenticity becomes your most valuable asset. And in Chicago, authenticity means acknowledging Michael Jordan. Why blending sports history with sports entertainment. TKO demonstrated something powerful. Cultural. Memory is marketable. Legacy is leverage. Emotion drives engagement. That's how you justify a $16.67 billion valuation. Why Jordan still matters. It's been over 2 decades since his final game in Chicago. Yet every time Sirius plays, the building transforms. Every time someone references 6 rings, fans nod in understanding. Every time a performer compares themselves to MJ, it carries weight. Because Jordan isn't just a former player, he's a benchmark, a measuring stick for greatness. And as long as events continue to be held inside the United Center, his presence will linger. The bigger picture, what happened at Elimination Chamber, was bigger than wrestling. That it was proof that true legends transcend their sport. Basketball inspired wrestling. Music linked generations. A city's pride became part of a modern spectacle. And somewhere outside the arena, the statue of Michael Jordan stood unmoved, as it always does, watching another chapter of Chicago greatness unfold. Different era, different champions, same standard. And as long as that standard exists, every performer who walks into the United Center will understand one thing. If you want to own Chicago for one night, you better bring Jordan energy.